What's going on, beautiful people? It is I, your flying locomotive, and faster than a speeding bullet SuperCliff, coming at you live with a brand new video. So for today's video, I want to talk about the MCU, more specifically the long-awaited rebooted Blade movie. Now obviously the MCU at the moment isn't where it needs to be. I think it's fair to say that a lot of what's come out recently post-Endgame hasn't been the best of quality that the MCU is known to deliver. A lot of their movies and shows, they look half-finished. But more importantly, many of the new characters introduced haven't been hitting well for general audiences. There's just a lot of issues, and let's not forget that the upcoming Blade movie, which will star two-time Academy Award-winning actor Mahershala Ali as the vampire hunter himself, has been delayed countless times, and its script, or lack thereof, has been through hell. Things are so bad now that it's to the point where the actor, rightfully so, has threatened to quit the project. I mean, think about it. Blade was a movie announced back in July of 2019. For most people, this was the cherry on top. This was the movie that everyone was excited for. However, we've yet to see anything regarding Blade. Okay, sure, his voice was featured in the Eternals post-credit scene, but let's be honest, no one cares. And Eternals 2 will never happen. Not to mention that most people didn't even know that Blade was in that scene. Now, recently with Marvel getting their balls kicked by the Variety article, not only are general audiences are not feeling phases 4 and 5, but the people connected within Hollywood itself are aware of the issue as well, including Marvel Studios. Basically, Marvel has been releasing too many projects, and because of that, there's not enough time for people like Kevin Feige to focus on every project. Feige is spread too thin, and I'll bet you a pint of blood, get it, because blood and Blade, with things being so chaotic, there's been no time to focus on movies such as Blade. Now, with the Marvels being the last MCU project developed under the Bob Chapek era, Marvel has been changing things behind the scenes. Their new motto being quality over quantity. In addition, it's been announced that movies such as Deadpool 3 and Blade will be rated R, and that Blade will be the least expensive movie to ever be made by Marvel Studios. The film will be working with a $100 million budget. Now, I think this is amazing news. For starters, I think people, right now, are sick of the $200 million superhero movie that looks like ass. Movies like The Marvels costing, $275 million, or a movie like Black Widow costing $200 million is ridiculous. And the fact that the special effects and the VFX look like shit, there's this sense that the studio, not saying Marvel does this, but because their movies have been looking like crap of late, it comes off as if they're basically telling the audience that we don't care because we know you'll show up to our movies regardless. Always dressed to impress. And Marvel's not been doing that. Therefore, with limited budgets, this can help directors and folks working on the movies to have more creative opportunities than having the mindset of, let's just fix this during post. Also, movies like Blade don't need a $200 million budget. Blade is one of those superheroes where you don't have to spend a lot of money. I love Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I love the character and the story, but if I had one critique, it's that the movie didn't need to be made for $200 million. Shang-Chi in its core is a kung fu movie. Sure, I love the dragon and Tao Lao stuff, but you didn't need to do that. Legit, you had us with the small-scale fight scenes and the cast of characters. The same thing with Black Widow. That movie should have costed at most $80 million. But instead, Marvel was like, you know what, we need this to be huge. But you don't need to, because you already have Scarlett Johansson. Trust your characters, not the CGI fight scenes. Not to mention, this will also help out Marvel Studios in the box office. Now let's get to the whole rated R aspect. I think this is a necessary move for the MCU. Not because rated R projects allow the MCU to be dark and gritty and they can say the word fuck a lot. I think in terms of maturity and subject matter, having movies that can be rated R will provide different ways to tell a story. I'm a big fan of the MCU humor. I think movies like Thor Ragnarok and Guardians of the Galaxy really work well in terms of humor, but not every character can be placed in that humorous box. I think most characters in Marvel are pretty serious. Deadpool 3 is obviously much more of a comedy, but Blade, he's not really a funny guy. I don't mind slight moments of levity, but in no way does anyone want a 10-minute gag to happen in Blade. Plus, Blade is a vampire hunter, so you can bet your bottom dollar that there's gonna be a lot of blood. Take for instance in Blade 1, where the opening scene is a blood rave. Yeah, you can't really do that in a PG-13. And also, right or wrong, a lot of people when they think of Blade, they think of it being rated R. It's like if you're gonna be doing a Punisher movie, that has to be rated R. But let's say it's an Avengers movie. That's obviously going to be a PG-13 movie. But with the right balance and the execution in terms of integration, that can work. You can bring characters like Punisher and Blade into PG-13 projects, but their own solo stories, they have to be rated R. Basically, cheaper budgets and rated R projects will give fans a more diverse form of storytelling. and can help push the envelope in terms of what a cinematic universe can provide. So yeah, pretty simple video, but I just wanted to shout that out. Obviously, the MCU isn't where it needs to be right now, but I do believe the worst is behind us and that moving forward, we'll get more quality in our stories. So yeah, as always, I'm your majestic sayer over at SuperCliff, and if you guys are new to the channel, then do me a solid by smashing that like and subscribe button, and also the notification bell so that you'll never miss out on an upload, and so that you'll always be kept up to date with your favorite top tier comics happening in the comic book world. Now tell me, what are your thoughts and opinions on Blade? Are you guys excited for the movie? Are you happy that Marvel is aware of their issues? What's something you would like to see the MCU implement? Let me know down in the comment section below. And until the next video, peace. Giggity goo.